From Cairo to Cape Town, Madagascar to Morocco, we are one thing.
He made history by being the youngest leader to take his party to parliament in 2014. He has made friends and foes. On African Perspective this week, we speak to the leader of the economic freedom fighters, Julius Malema, on the role of the youth in politics. Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Central African Time on SABC News.
Well, that's right. At 2100 hours tonight here on the SABC News Channel 404, African Perspective takes a look at South Africa's national elections, of course, scheduled for the 8th of May, and of course the international votes that took place last week. And tonight, Tshepiso Makwetla, who joins me now, will be speaking to the EFF leader Julius Malema. Tshepiso, straight out of Alexandra today, into the studio, of course, to talk about what the EFF basically has to offer come May the 8th.
What the EFF has to offer, but also from the prism of Julius Malema being, as we mentioned in our promo, a young African leader. You would know that he's a very strong proponent of no borders on the African continent, saying that Africa needs to decolonize itself by getting rid of the borders. And that also goes to the issue of xenophobia. We've seen various attacks against foreigners here in South Africa. They started as far back as 2015, 2008. You remember as well that there were major incidents then. And Julius Malema has said that the EFF does not want xenophobic people voting for his party, speaking very strongly about the need for African brothers and sisters to unite. And you would know that South Africa has often had that negative image of being big brother and talking about the continent as we're going into Africa as though we're separated from that. But he's also a man who speaks from the position of being a member of the Pan-African Parliament. He was sworn in last year, and he also spoke about the need for more men and women to join the ranks of the Pan-African Parliament. Griselda, in 2008 already, there were over 200 million young people. So fast forward 10 years later, you can imagine the demographic weight of the youth. And the question that we'll be talking to him about is also about leadership. The kind of leadership that is required will be mirroring experiences of Libya. Remember, he's been very outspoken about that, especially South Africa's role in where it is. We'll be talking about the Sudan. In 2015, he called for the African continent to protect Hassan Omar al-Bashir. Where does he stand now? Many issues coming up.
And very interesting that that discussion takes place at the start of Africa Month.
That's at at 21:30.
Yes.
So yes, African Perspective is an hour long. But as you're right, May Day, as we are here, but Siemens, we are working today.
There we go. Thanks, Tshepiso. So all of that coming up. Don't forget to catch that interview, of course, with one of Africa's vibrant leaders, the EFF leader, Julius Malema. Let's take a short break here on The Full View. We'll have more news when we get back.